as you go down that road and get a good look at this whole district, and you can see the city spread out in front of you as you go down this slope, and the elevation change is pretty strong. So you can really look out and see the city. You can see a big open square with a bizarre the tallest structure in the city, a gleaming black tower in the middle of that city square on the other side of the river. You can see different factories, and you can get kind of a look at the sprawl of the city. So you can look at that map that you were on, that I gave you, and think about that. Um, and then as you continue down, you will go into an area that is far more residential. And you will see that a lot of the buildings don't look like Earth buildings at all. They clearly have been there much longer than that area you just left, and are much more alien looking in their design. I will think more about what that means later, but at the moment, just think futuristic, curving bubble buildings, and strange, you know, some sort of standard weird fantasy science fiction sort of buildings. But they are not made, they do not have strange energy technology or anything. They seem to be technologically handled just like everything else. Now, but they are very old in comparison. Now, in this area, you will see a number of service personnel, and they are not progeny. They are these mutant creatures. In particular, there is one who is pushing a heated cart with food on it, who is traveling up and down the streets, and people sometimes come out of their houses and get food and bring it back in. So apparently it's some kind of special food. Remember, it is lunchtime right now. So so for some reason this is kind of like an ice cream truck except for an ice cream cart except for pizza sort of situation, whatever it may be. Now, what does this creature look like? It is shorter than a human, is very broad, and is clearly from extremely non-human background. Has a trunk like an elephant that's about this long, hanging straight down, and very sad eyes, and has very basic hands. There are only two fingers and a thumb on each hand, and otherwise it looks very short and stubby. And so this individual is walking along and pushing along with the food. So that does seem kind of like what you were talking about.
Yeah, I think so. Moving up to her, I'm saying I'm talking into my hand and
Sure.
doing all the stuff that I've already done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think this is a good subject. I think we should try on that thing, and moving over to that. But if we have to have a kind of a plan, and that means if she kind of faints or becomes unconscious, then I don't think we should jump back into her. We should go back, right? So how do we? And so basically, we should. This is a good idea because we will see what happens, and we can and then the same thing will probably happen to this this small elephant guy. Yeah.
Do we know where she lives? So if we can
you saw her address. You saw her address in her ID card. Yeah. So you will be able to remember that. Yeah.
I think we have to have a plan B if she knows.
Exactly. If she kind of awake and gets all hysteric, I think we should jump back into her, because the small elephant guy being hysteric, that's not the problem. No. And then go back to her and take her to a safe place and do something to her. Maybe not the Albert way of killing and do all this. I'm a military,
Maybe
but
locking her in somewhere.
much better idea. Locking her in, giving her
Let's
some food
proceed
or
before we
something.
start
Yeah.
tracking down the plans. Let's
So
move to the
that's my
next
two
step.
options. If
Right.
she falls asleep, then we can't do anything.
Right.
So let's go up to this the tiny little elephant guy and look at the menu first, and then when he's close by, handing over the food truck stuff, then we grab him and like just move into it. Because we
All right.
don't know.
So you are going to walk up and you are going to see that there are a lot of tasty vegetables in different arrangements on sticks or in little, basically you grab, it's like a kebab. It's all vegetables and it's all very roasted and very spicy smelling. In fact, I have to tell you, Nyansu, you're hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. This you're suddenly real. I mean, that's and it smells really good. So the little creature, stops and looks at you and says, "Very good today. Very good."
Yes. That looks very good. I can see that you have done a great job here fixing this food. And then I know I'm hungry, but when I'm in his body, I'm probably not hungry. Much easier than eating is to switch body. So I'm grab, like, I want to thank you, and I put a hand on his shoulder. Is it skin versus skin, or what's important? Just touching.
Just touching,
in
really.
general one. Yeah.
Let's process that later. It's not an issue right now. Right now, the contact is just casual contact. It should be very easy. There's no armor or anything. I might be picky if somebody's wearing heavy armor, for example, but that's not the case here. So go ahead, and is everybody going to make the jump? And in that case, you need to make a willpower check. And
is it me or the body or everyone
I am
else?
just taking a quick look along those lines right now, just for the changing bodies. The boss makes willpower attacks on the victim.
Okay. I'm really crap at willpower.
Do you want to switch out with somebody and then have the jump?
If someone is better, much better if we do that switch for who is really
Albert.
Albert.
I think I have 7, so I think it's.
I have 4, so.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys can switch. I'll just expedite this. And now, Albert, go ahead and roll your 7 dice. And let's see how well you do.
Good.
That's good, because that's precisely what you needed. Okay, so you have just made the threshold for making this the first transfer you have done, and the let's see exactly how that works. Okay.
I was just.
Okay.
What if someone gets stuck in her and the rest?
I just want to check something here.
Yeah, because I mean, we have heard stories of people. Some of them came back. Some of them are still there.
Don't remind me right now.
No, so I mean, bad things can probably happen.
Oh my God! I rolled everything over a 5 and a 6. I'm supposed to make a roll for resistance, and it's a little bit like spirit combat in RuneQuest, Helma, where you whittle away at each other's amount, right? And if someone gets a big advantage, they can capitalize. But in this particular case, just this guy rolled all 4 5s and 6s for the resistance roll. So
but he's a tiny little elephant. So
I'm just throwing up my hands and saying, okay, all the willpower, that's done. Okay, so given that you have found yourself in the body of this creature, and the sensations are quite difficult to process at first. The person who feels them the most and feels his center of gravity change rapidly and things like that will be Albert. So Albert, make a just you don't have to get very high. Just even poor will probably be good enough. But I would like you to make a basic agility roll with all the agility dice.
Okay, 3, 4, 5.
Can you look for your like small elephant skill?
That's right. Yes. Can I
Wait.
use actually xenobiology and knowledge would be a very good skill for this purpose, but
No, wait. Do you want an agility roll or one of the?
I don't want one of the skills. They are not relevant.
Okay.
I want you to roll
Okay,
the dice
so-
for agility by itself.
Okay, so 8. That's a superior.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You apparently are able to. You have no problem adjusting yourself into this, and there's no shift in your movements or anything like that. You slide straight in, you feel where the body is, and you are operative. If you are all watching Mashal right now,
Yeah.
okay, she puts her hand on the edge of the cart and sways for a second, but she does not lose consciousness or look like she does not fall asleep or anything like that. So she sways for a moment and her eyes open and she looks around and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, what a strange little spell." And is looking at you for some kind of explanation. Maybe you have something to say that will help her understand.
Give her food.
Oh.
She's hungry.
Yeah, I'm going to hand her some food exactly as
Right,
she had
right,
asked
right.
first, and I'm going to ask if she's fine because she looks a little bit.
She says,
Very hungry.
right. She says, "Well, wait, let me check," and she kind of drifts off for just a second and is and she's checking their time is what she's doing. So she checks the time just by sort of looking up, and then she says, "Oh, I must have stepped out for lunch. I was daydreaming. I had the strangest dream. What a good little harvester you are. Thank you." And starts to eat, and she says, "Oh, I was so hungry. Wow, that's so strange. I was daydreaming as I walked along. Yes, I remember thinking I wanted to go to lunch, and I guess I just started. What a strange." And she leans over and says, Do you know? I had the strangest dream about my boss." And she kind of gives this look of, "I dreamed something really naughty," and to kind of look. And the little harvester, are you, Albert, are you going to respond in any way, or are you just going to look like you're fascinated, or what?
Can I use psychiatry to move the discussion away? By that I mean that I want to make sure that she believes it's a dream.
Disguise or lie?
Psychiatry?
No.
I'm thinking about food right now, so.
Can you persuade her?
I'm
Psychiatry
bad.
will
If anybody
probably-
wants the body right now to do that, go ahead.
How was that thing with assisting each other? Does anybody remember?
Everybody can roll who wants to assist. I will point out that Claire is awfully good at talking her way into and out of problems.
Claire, take the body.
I can help with lying, if that helps. But
I think we're yeah. I think we're in a really good place. So if you want to take over Claire and try to like manipulate some more interesting, you can probably give her more food and